Hey guys, welcome back. If you watched my last video reviewing the Pentax 100 macro, you know, filming these during the Corona lockdown. So I'm in my kitchen. Sorry if the fridge is noisy. Sorry if the room is echoey. I'll do my best to try and fix that in post. But I thought I'd do some lens reviews while the kids are in bed. So this latest review is for the Pentax-FA 77 Limited. This is something of a cult lens. Everybody seems to love it. It was touted along with the 31 and the 43 to me when I first got into the Pentax system as being one of the best lenses that money could buy, that you would never regret it. Apologies for that noise. That's my daughter coughing. That's the baby monitor that's just sitting down here. So I am ready to respond in the event that the coughing turns into something more. Anyway, let's have a look at the tech specs and then I'll talk about it some more. So the FA 77 f1.8 Limited has an SMC coating and it weighs in at 270 grams. It only stands at 48mm high and 64mm wide. It is a very lightweight lens at 270 grams, a great walk around lens with a dedicated built-in slide-out lens hood. Lens cap is an acquired taste. It's a push-on metal one. It seems like quite a firm smoke fit to me. It has like a velvety type interior which helps to hold on with the grip as well. It's a lens with 7 elements. The bokeh I found to be quite nice out of it, though I'm not really a bokeh head. It has a wide aperture of f1.8 and a small aperture of f22. The diaphragm has 9 blades, so you do get quite smooth bokeh out of it. It has a minimum focusing distance of 70cm, which I think is quite close, which is one of the reasons I like this for headshots. It very popular lens. There's 2 versions around, differentiated by whether they are made in Japan or made in Vietnam. Now there is a Pentax cult that thinks the made in Japan ones are better. I don't think that's really true at all, to be honest. Maybe there was some early problems with the production in Vietnam when it moved to there, but my lens is a fairly modern one and I've had no issues with it whatsoever. The build quality is outstanding. It feels like a really solid piece of kit in your hand. It's not weather sealed, solid metal, and it just feels really nice in the hand. It's got a nice bit of weight to it, but again, it's still a lovely compact walk around lens. I don't think anybody would have any real issues with the build quality. I've never really heard any complaints about the build quality from anybody else. It's a great little lens. Not much more to say about that really. So anyway, the FA 77. What do I use this lens for? Headshots. Some headshots. Occasionally I use it for some headshots. I've used it for headshots. I've used it for the kids kicking around the house. It's relatively fast at 1.8. It's a little bit too long a focal length if you stick it on my K3 APS-C sensor for the kids running around the house. But you can just about cope with the with 77 on the K1. It's a nice lens. It does have a unique style of rendering. Unique is probably a bit extreme. I'm sure the lens is similar. It is not clinically sharp. It's not clinically sharp like the 100 macro is. It's a kinda lens, yeah. It's the 100 macro's kinda brother. It has a really nice look and it is sharp enough. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Some of the things people say, it doesn't have to be perfect, it has to be good enough. Well, this is sharp enough. It gives a lovely look. It does pick up lens flare. Chromatic aberration is there as well. But I mainly shoot studio and it's easily fixed in studio. For its size, for 77mm focal length, I really don't think you can argue with it. I mean, that fits lovely on the Pentax K1. Use it as a walk around. I think the little compromises you have in image quality, the lack of clinical sharpness, but the sharpness is definitely good enough. Don't know if I said that, but it is. It's good enough for paid work. Is worth it for the compactness. It's the only one of the limited trios that I own. I didn't buy the 43 because close to 50, and I don't find 50 mils to be a useful focal length for me. It's a bit of a focal length. It's interesting on APS-C because it's basically 75 field of view, but on full frame, and I mainly think about full frame when I'm buying lenses at the moment. Because I'm not sure if I want to stick with APS-C as my backup body. I'm waiting to see what the new APS-C camera is like when it comes out. If it's amazing, I'll stick with APS-C as my backup body. Useful to have a different type of way of working. If it's not, I'm probably going to get rid of my K3 and pick up another K1. Anyway, that's a bit of an aside. But yeah, this lens is really good for portraiture. It's really nice. It's a good focal length. You can, if you've got enough room, you can do full length shots in it. I tend to use it for 3/4 up to headshots. Did I mention I use it for headshots? That's the main thing I use it for. Focus is a little bit noisy. Who cares if you're in a studio? Wouldn't go using it for a wedding personally, maybe for the reception, but not for a service or any sort of event where you've got to be quiet. It's not the noisiest, to be fair, but it is noisy. It has the manual aperture in because really it's a film mirror lens. I have mine in silver because it actually matches my K1, which is the silver limited, but I didn't deliberately buy it in silver. I ordered it from SRS Microsystems during a sale, and something happened with their stock and they couldn't get it, and it was supposed to be a black one. Only the black one was on sale, and because they are the sort of people who don't like to mess you around, after they couldn't get the stock, they sent me a message saying, would I be happy to have a silver one? Which for some reason the silver one sell for more, and I said yes, and I have a silver one. End of story, really. And then I bought the 31. I'll talk about why I didn't buy the 31 when I review my Sigma 35 Art lens, which I know lots of you hate. Anyway, switch over now and we'll review some images. If you find my videos remotely interesting or useful, I would be very grateful if you were to subscribe. Not grateful enough to pay you, but yeah, I'd be very grateful if you subscribe. At the time of filming, I'm on 99 subscribers, and I would really like to trip over that. By mid-April, that would be really nice. Hopefully. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk you through these images now. So as usual, I thought I'd take you through a few images. It seems odd to talk about a lens and not show you some of the results from it. As I probably made clear already, I mainly use this lens for headshots, and here is an actor's headshot. Now this lens is sharp. It really is sharp. If we pull right in here, you can see the detail really is there. But there is something about this lens. Whereas the 100mm macro is clinically sharp, this is sharp in a kind of flattering way. The detail is really there, and it finds the focus really, really easily on the K1. I don't think I've really used it much on the on my K3. It's always been on the K1. And it just seems to render skin really nicely. Yeah, I keep zooming in the eyes to check the focus because it's just sort of what you do. But yeah, just not a lot of images here really. Just pulled together a few of fairly recent stuff taken using this lens just to show its general versatility. Yeah, and this one I think is f2.2. It does go a bit soft as you go wide on it. 2.2 I think is about where it gets to acceptable. But as I shoot in the studio, I shoot nearly everything. It's about 7.1 to 8. Occasionally going a little bit higher. And you see in the hair here that it really is very, very sharp. But there is something about the way that it renders skin is really nice. Anyway, back to the beginning of the collection there. So I hope you found that useful insight into the lens. If you found this video helpful in any way, then it would be great if you consider subscribing. to the channel, and if you've got any feedback, then I would really be thrilled to read your comments. Some more videos coming up soon, a couple of zoom lenses, and the Sigma 35mm art to review as well. See you in the next one.